Third Annual Formal. And my name is Abdel Kamara, and I serve as the treasurer and one of the executive board members of AMYP. And I think I speak for all of our entire leadership and all of our members that we are extremely happy to have you here tonight. We know there's a lot of things to do, and you guys chose to spend your Saturday evening with us. And without any further delay, I'd like to welcome our president, Shahrukh.
First of all, can we get a round of applause for all the volunteers who really made this happen tonight? My job is to just show up and look pretty, right? They're the ones who are really putting all the effort in. And we really have done something amazing tonight, guys. I just want you to know that we, for the first time, sold out the formal. And in 2 years, we've come such a long way. The first year, we had 7 people sign up beforehand. We had no idea what was going to happen. Last year, we had 98 people. We didn't know what to do with that many people. We thought that was it. That was the best we could do. And this year, we sold out at 150 3 days ago. So that's really shown the progress that we've made so far. And the part that sticks out to me about that is the fact that you, the community, have really shown us the support. You're the ones who help us grow. You guys are the ones who are volunteering. And really, as a core, as an organization, that's what we're trying to do, right? We have the name Atlanta Muslim Young Professionals. We have all these events. But what we're really trying to achieve is to create a community around the young Muslim professional identity. Because it's difficult to go places and meet people in our demographic. And really, it's great to see the kind of support you guys have shown us. And we've been trying to make sure our programs are geared toward these sorts of things. So this year we started the monthly meetups, which has been this great way to get people introduced to the organization. We just get together once a month. I hope you guys come out. And we play board games all night, right? And it's incredibly fun. When I first heard the idea, I was like, who wants to play board games? But it turns out everybody. Everyone wants to play board games, and it ends up being really fun. And we create opportunities for our members to meet professionals as well. We've had the Dinner with the Boss series twice, and we're definitely going to be continuing that to give our members the face-to-face time with the industry leaders that they want. And at the same time, we're doing community service as well. So we're going out there once a quarter, working with other organizations to really show the Atlanta community, right? Not just the Muslim community, but the Atlanta community, that the young Muslims here are really willing to get up and work towards these things. So I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for being here. And it's really my honor today to be introducing our main speaker for tonight. Sally Yates was nominated by President Obama to serve as United States Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia and was confirmed by the Senate on March 10, 2010. She is the first woman to serve as United States Attorney in the Northern District of Georgia. As Chief Federal Law Enforcement Official for the district, she oversees the prosecution of all federal crimes and the litigation of civil matters in which the government has an interest in a district encompassing over 6 million residents. She supervises a staff of approximately 95 lawyers and 80 support personnel. Ms. Yates was appointed by Attorney General Holder to serve as the Vice Chair of the Attorney General's Advisory Committee. Created in 1973, the committee represents the voice of the U.S. attorneys and provides advice and counsel to the Attorney General on policy, management, and operational issues impacting the Department of Justice. Ms. Yates has spent most of her professional career in public service and has 22 years of prosecutorial experience in the U.S. Attorney's Office. Prior to appointment as a U.S. Attorney, Ms. Yates served as the first United States Attorney for approximately 7 years, and from 1994 to 2002, she was the Chief of Fraud and Public Corruption Section of the office, where she supervised the prosecution of all office's white-collar cases. Ms. Yates is an experienced trial lawyer and has prosecuted a wide variety of complex matters, specializing in public corruption cases. She was also the lead prosecutor in the Atlanta prosecution of the Olympic bomber Eric Rudolph. Ms. Yates is a fellow in the American College of Trial Lawyers. Prior to joining the United States Attorney, Ms. Yates practiced with King & Spalding in commercial litigation. She graduated magna cum laude from the University of Georgia School of Law in 1986. Please join me in welcoming U.S. Attorney Sally Yates.
Well, thank you for that very kind introduction. Assalamu alaikum. Did I say that right? I'm so pleased to be here with you tonight, and I'm very grateful that you have included me in this really beautiful evening that you have here tonight. You're obviously a thriving organization, coming from so many different professions, as I was talking with you all here tonight, from business and finance and the arts and law. It is a community that has come together with a common commitment to the community here in Atlanta. It is a community that I hope and I want to believe is as anxious to embrace you as you are to contribute to that community. But I know that at least at times that may not always be true. Since becoming U.S. Attorney, I've had an opportunity to have a number of conversations with members of the Muslim community. And sometimes I've been told that there are times when Muslims feel uneasy about their relationship with the United States government. Some are worried about the safety of their families or communities or their mosques. And some have told me that they feel as though they're treated by their fellow citizens or their government, or especially by those of us in law enforcement, as it's us versus them. That's completely unacceptable, and it's inconsistent with what America is all about. Muslims have helped to build and strengthen our nation as police officers and teachers and civic leaders like you all here tonight. Speaking in Cairo less than 6 months after taking office, President Obama described the values and hopes that unify all of us as Americans. America, he said, holds within her the truth that regardless of race, religion, or station in life, all of us share common aspirations: to live in peace and security, to get an education and to work with dignity, and to love our families, our communities, and our God. But he added that so long as our relationship is defined by our differences, we will empower those who sow hatred rather than peace, and who promote conflict rather than cooperation that can help all of our people achieve justice and prosperity. And he ended by noting that this cycle of suspicion and discord must end. President Obama may have been addressing another region of the world, but the words that he spoke there are as much a guide for America's diverse communities as they are for other countries around the world. We're all Americans. And to the extent that relationships between Muslims and non-Muslim Americans are defined by differences, those who want to sow hatred rather than peace will prevail. But we can't let that happen. Members of the Muslim American community know, as much as anyone who has fought for equality, that we continue to face challenges in pursuit of the great American promise. The last decade in particular has been a trying period for followers of your faith, a faith that from its founding has embraced the notion that all human beings are created equally. I believe that law enforcement has an obligation to ensure that every religious community can enjoy the ability to worship and practice their faith in peace, free from intimidation or violence or suspicion. The Justice Department is committed to the impartial and aggressive enforcement of all of our nation's laws, including our civil rights laws. But I recognize that actions speak louder than words. And I know that the communities that we serve must see and believe that we are just as committed to defending civil rights as we are to protecting public safety. Since becoming U.S. Attorney, our office has made a deliberate effort to reach out to members of the Muslim and Arab communities. We hope to build a relationship of trust. We are your Justice Department, and we who represent you. I've been incredibly grateful for the kind and welcoming reception that we've received in this endeavor, whether visiting a mosque or enjoying an iftar dinner or at a community meeting. You all have extended your hand to us, and you've engaged with us. You've been candid about your concerns, and you have fairly asked hard questions of us. And at times, again, you have fairly asked us to look more closely at certain issues. As a result of situations that you've brought to our attention, we have acted to try to ensure that the protections Muslim Americans deserve are in fact a reality. Sometimes that means filing legal actions, and sometimes it means using the authority of the Justice Department to try to work out a resolution. For example, a couple of years ago, some members of the Muslim community came to us and were concerned that when women were having their photographs taken for driver's licenses, they were being required to either remove their headscarf or to pull it back to reveal their forehead and pull it back to reveal their ears. And so a member of our staff, Eileen Bell Hughes, whom some of you I think know, got in touch with the Georgia Department of Driver Services. And as it turned out, the department had a fundamental misunderstanding of the regulation. At first, they thought that the issue that we were raising was a religious discrimination issue. So their solution to us was, well, we'll just require everyone then to pull their bangs back when they're having their photograph taken. So men, women, if you had bangs, you had to all pull it back. And that wasn't exactly what we were after here. This was not a religious discrimination issue, but rather an accommodation issue. That women should not, Muslim women should not have to remove their headscarves or pull them back for photographs. And so after many more hours of negotiations with the commissioner and with their council, we were finally able to convince them of the regulation, and I'm happy to report that now that is no longer required. Now, as long as it is... Now, the only thing that is required is that the face be visible from the top of the eyebrow to the chin. There was another situation that came up with the city of Lilburn. When the city of Lilburn denied a zoning request for the construction of a mosque, we joined with the Civil Division of the Justice Department and sued the city of Lilburn for religious discrimination. The complaint in this case alleged that the denial of the zoning request was based upon religious bias of the city officials and also to appease other members of the city of Lilburn who had their own religious bias. The complaint also alleged that the city of Lilburn was treating the application, the zoning application for the mosque differently than it treated zoning applications for other religions. The city of Lilburn, again, after much negotiating, ultimately entered into a settlement agreement. And as part of that settlement agreement with our office and the department, the city agreed to approve the zoning request, not to impose different zoning requirements for mosques, and to publicize their non-discrimination policies. They also agreed to require city officials and employees to attend training on the Religious Land Use Act and to adopt some new procedures so that folks who wanted to object and complain about the city zoning process could do so more easily. Now, it shouldn't have required a lawsuit to get the city of Lilburn to do the right thing, but when it does, that's what the Justice Department is for.
Thanks. All right, let's go.
Trying to practice taqwa. If heaven is your goal, then don't let nothing stop you. Purify my soul, then I purify my clothes. Purify the smells that come through my nose. I purify my heart just to purify my limbs. Abandon my lifestyle just to follow his. His meaning Ahmed, Muhammad the prophet. If you worship creation, you need to stop it. Habibi was them. Love and respect them. If they don't know who he is, we should tell them. This is not preaching. This is just teaching. Don't care what you call it, just as long as it's reaching the masses. Abandon your passions, purify your soul with prayer and with fasting. God, I'm Shaheed. Please support the album, Shaheed and DJ Supreme.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Yusuf Burke with CARE, and I just wanted to congratulate AMYP on a successful banquet. I think it's a great organization, something that really needed in our community to really help build and strengthen our community. So thank you so much.
Young Muslim Professionals is an awesome organization. I definitely recommend that you join it. You get to network with not only talented professionals, but you also get to network with your fellow Muslims, and there's no better combination than that.
May the good Lord be with you down every road you roam. And may sunshine and happiness surround you when you're far from home. And may you grow to be proud, dignified and true. And do unto others as you'd have done to you. Be courageous and be brave, and in my heart you'll always